So coming up later this year, unless it gets postponed, the Eternals film will be dropping a movie in Phase 4 of the MCU, and I have some spoilers here from Reddit that came out, and apparently, according to what I've heard from friends and what I've read, that this is from a legit person who actually saw the film, or at least an early screening of it, and it was approved by a mod. However, for these videos, I always say be cautious with these because it's a test screening. Things may change in the final product. Edits might change the movie. You know how it is. It's still not 100% finished yet, but it's almost done. I thought it was done, but I guess not. But we're going to go into what this person reported from the film and go into detailed plots. A plot synopsis of Eternals coming out later this year. Now, I will say this before we go any further. I love Marvel Comics, but I never got into the Eternals in the comics. I never really got into them. I know about them, obviously. I know some of the characters, but when I was a kid, I was mostly into like Spider-Man, X-Men, and then later on, you know, the Avengers and, you know, Silver Surfer and stuff like that. That's what I liked. I never got into the Eternals, so I don't know these characters too well. I know some of them, but I don't know these characters super well. Like, I'm not going to have a conversation with an expert and be on his level necessarily. You know, but I am always interested in learning, and this movie will be a learning experience for me. So let's get right into it. Okay, so it says right here, this plot summary was sent to us a few days ago and was followed by undeniable evidence of factual information by the leaker. Okay, good. Please remember that this plot is very early test screening and included unfinished FX, which is true. They always do that. Temporary music tracks and probably scenes that will fail to make the theatrical version. However, after several dives to the source's credentials, we have discerned that it's a legitimate plot leak for November's Eternals. Which, by the way, Shang-Chi's coming out September, apparently. Here we go. The anonymous user has agreed to answer questions that are not listed in the text. You may ask them below, and one of the other mods will relay the response to our account. Okay, here we go. That's what we got. Again, if you don't want to be spoiled for Eternals, this ain't the video for you. Let's do it. There's a lot of jumping around in time to give context to various plot points. I don't recall all of the linear order, so we'll just include the info as part of the synopsis. Opening title card explaining the Deviants and Eternals. The Deviants were created by the Celestials to hunt predators that prey on intelligent life on newly evolving worlds, but then they started to hurt the life as well, so Celestials created the Eternals to kill the Deviants. That I remember vaguely from the comics, although I think it was a bit different there. Opens 5,000 years ago in Mesopotamia. A man is fishing on some rocks with his son, and is attacked by a deviant from the ocean. The Eternals show up and short battle commences, after which they line up in a triangular hero pose, and this rolls the Marvel logo opening. Well, first of all, that's kind of cool. It sounds like something like from Sentai, like Power Rangers, or Ginyu Force, Sailor Moon stuff. But I have a smile on my face because if this movie's gonna go full out cheesy, you know, as far as the Eternals go, I'm down. Like, you know, make some movies super serious and some cheesy. And if it's 5,000 years ago where it starts, that's cool. Like, I'm cool with like different timelines being viewed. But it says here in the very next paragraph, jump to present day. So it does take place after the blip, presumably. Cersei and Dane Whitman are teachers in the UK and dating. Oh, in the UK, I like that. I like there's different parts of the world being explored. During a class lesson, a large earthquake strikes and Cersei saves a child from falling object by turning it into sand. Later, while on a date, a deviant attacks Cersei, Sprite, and Dane. During the battle, Icarus shows up and they fight it off after noting that they thought all the deviants were destroyed, and unlike others, the deviant was able to heal its wounds. So wait a minute, why didn't they help out against Thanos? I don't know, that's a different question. Maybe we'll get the answer later. The group, maybe they're not supposed to. The group decides to visit Ajak as she was the leader of the group. After arriving at the Midwest, I could have sworn Ajak was a guy in the comics, maybe I'm wrong. After arriving in the Midwest ranch where she's now living, they discover her dead body. Interesting, that's a good twist. A small golden device leaves Ajak's body and enters Cersei. This is how she communicated with the Celestials. They then decide to round up the rest of the Eternals to deal with the Deviants. So this movie's moving pretty fast, yo. Like, not a lot of origin, but right into it. You know what I'm saying? Thena and Gilgamesh are in Australia, I think, due to an issue with her memory causing her to randomly attack other Eternals. Gilgamesh is obviously in love with Thena, but is not played as a romantic relationship. Phastos and his husband live with their child. He decides to help due to the fact that he has fully embraced the human race and wants to protect his family. Makari has been living in the Eternal ship all this time, I guess since there's a bunch of food containers and mess strewn about. Kingo is a Bollywood actor. There's a short dance routine that introduces this and comes with the group along with his valet, don't recall the name, who tries to document everything on video. Druig is living in some rainforest controlling a small village of people after losing faith in humanity and wanting to control them to stop war, famine, etc. Gilgamesh is killed fighting the deviants in the forest. Wow, okay. Cersei learns that the Celestials created both races and that the Eternals are basically just very advanced robots. Okay, that's different and I'm digging it. They seed young planets with a celestial egg that takes eons to mature. The evolving intelligent life on these planets feeds the Celestials' growth as the Eternals are sent to protect the evolving life forms and kill the deviants. After the emergence, the Eternals are rebooted and sent to another world. This is the cause of Thena's memory issue, and she knows the planet is doomed. So it sounds like something like man, this is very interesting, very different from the typical Marvel stuff we've gotten so far. This cycle has gone on for millions of years. Earth was seeded, and Tiamat is about to emerge. This was the cause of the earthquake earlier. Once awakened, the entire planet and all life will be destroyed. Damn, they thought Thanos was a problem. They got some other issues going on. They debate on what to do, and some decide to try and find a way to stop the emergence. Icarus disagrees. Sprite and Kingo are on his side, but Kingo agrees to help. Phastos designs a device, Unimind, that will allow Druig to channel all the Eternals' energies in the hope of controlling Tiamat and putting him back to sleep. Cersei learns that Icarus knew about the Celestials' actual plans, and this is why he left the group hundreds of years ago. He killed Ajax because she had decided to help stop the emergence and save Earth. The group go to where Tiamat is and attempt to use the device. Icarus and Sprite attempt to stop them. Cersei then uses the device to amplify her power and turn Tiamat to marble just as his head and part of his head is emerging from the Indian Ocean. That's kind of a cool visual, yo. I want to see how that looks like on the big screen. Very curious about that. Icarus flies off into space towards the sun. Unclear if he just left or flew into the sun and killed himself. Well, man, this is like a different universe almost, right? Then Cersei makes a Sprite a real human with what remains of her power. A few days, later, Thena, Makari, Druig leave the ship to seek out other Eternals and try and stop the cycle of destruction. Cersei, Kingo, and Phastos stay on Earth but are then pulled into space by Arishem and vanish. That sounds like a cliffhanger for sure. The two end credit stingers. Dane is looking for an old box and pulls out a sword that is wrapped up. Just as he is about to touch it, the off-screen voice stops him. On the Eternal ship, Pip the Troll appears and introduces Star Fox. Man, this is totally Marvel Cosmic right here. Like, I know about Pip the Troll. I actually know more about Pip the Troll than I do even the Eternals as far as my knowledge of seeing it from reading the Infinity Watch. Was it the Infinity Watch? It might have been a different book I read when I was a kid. It's been a long time. But anyways, yeah, it looks like it's going to be opening up the MCU to a whole bunch of new stuff. The Celestials were already talked about in previous films, but now we're going to have like a real expansion of what's going to happen with that in this long story for thousands of years, and I'm perfectly fine with it. I was kind of hoping this would take place during the time when the snap didn't happen, even though I kind of wish it does, because we don't have all the details here yet. Not when it didn't happen, when it did happen. I wish there were some MCU stories that take place during the 5-year gap in Avengers Endgame, because, Falcon and Winter Soldier told us a little bit about how the world was, but not enough in my opinion. I want to know more, right? I want to know more about that time period. But overall, I don't know what to say, because like I said before, I'm not too familiar with these characters, and it seems like it's going to be a visual film, like really super visual, more than even some other movies have been. So I look forward to seeing it. I mean, I will be seeing it when it comes out, obviously. It's an MCU film. We're all going to go see it. And I'm curious to see where it opens up everything and how they're going to kind of factor into their Phase 4 plans, especially with the multiverse and everything else. Like, they're keeping a lot of things in Phase 4 a big secret as far as Feige's long-term plans. So I look forward to seeing where that goes. So what did you think about these spoilers? Do you think they're legitimate or not? I mean, it seems legit to me. The writing makes sense, but the movie ain't going to be out for another like 7 months or so. 8 months? 8 months. Right about 8 months. So we'll see what happens then. But thank you for watching this video. I appreciate it. And let me know what you think down below. And I'll talk to y'all there. And have a great one.